and our looking forward to the Eucharistic renewals. This morning, the presentation of the gifts marks the beginning of the liturgy of the Eucharist. The general instruction of the Roman Missal says, "It is a praiseworthy practice for the bread and wine to be presented by the faithful. The bread and wine are accepted at an appropriate place by the priest or the deacon. Even though the faithful no longer bring from their own possessions the bread and wine intended for the liturgy, as once was the case, nevertheless, the rite of carrying up the offerings still keeps its spiritual efficacy and significance. At the presentation of the gifts, the faithful present the gifts of bread and wine to the priest, symbolizing an offering of creation and themselves back to the Father. Pope Benedict XVI speaks, "This humble and simple gesture is actually very significant. In the bread and wine that we bring to the altar, all creation is taken up by Christ, the Redeemer, to be transformed and presented to the Father. In this way, we also bring to the altar all the pain and suffering of the world, and a certainty that everything has value in God's eyes. We remember that God has first blessed us with the gift of creation. Humans take those gifts given, wheat and grapes, and using our creativity, make bread and wine. Then we bring those gifts we have received and labored over to present them to God, that they might be transformed into the body and blood of Christ. This is also an exterior sign of our internal offerings. We offer our prayers and ourselves in the same way that we offer these mere gifts of bread and wine, hoping that just as they are changed into the body and blood of Christ, so we may be transformed by his grace. Before the Mass, ushers will often invite people to present the gifts during Mass to give them a fuller expression of bringing their offerings to God. You are welcome to take the initiative and ask an usher before the Mass to bring up the gifts. People taking up the gifts at Mass represent the people of the parish and, in a sense, the entire church in their participation in the Mass.